Can you hear me in the back of the room? I need a Heineken. Oh, you can hear me? Not everyone can hear me. Okay, so let me play around a little bit here. And see what I've got. Oh. So here's what we've got. I don't work for Epson, right? I work for Discovery. Discovery has a mainstream digital media product in about 50% of the schools in the country. Anybody have Discovery Education Streaming or Discovery Science or Discovery Center? Very cool product, right? So we are in the schools and we look at stuff that impacts them all the time. And I am a serial early adopter. I mean, there's really no way to look at it. So I think the first Google Earth session at ISTE was one that I did. We did iPods education. We just look at anything that kind of comes along and looks like it's really going to be useful. So I saw this and I thought, you know what? This is pretty cool. So I'll tell you why it's pretty cool and why I liked it. Then we'll start playing around a bit. I've got a presentation and I can always bring it up, but I think it's, would you just like to see the board? Because here's the way that it works. I mean, if you look at this now, because I'm standing in the back of the room as you are, as Claudia's talking, it looks like a regular board, right? Looks like another competitor in the space. But here's the weird thing. You don't need this board. You don't need these feet. You don't need the steel background back here. You don't need any of that stuff. Was anybody at the brown bag shootout earlier today? Yes. What did I build an interactive board out of? Foam core. Foam core. So we have a bunch of pieces of foam core and duct tape, and I duct taped the foam core together, and it worked. It worked. You don't need this infrastructure. You only need one thing. What do you need? That thing. All you need is a projector. That's a game changer. Because if you're in one of the proprietary products, and I have them, I'm looking at schools, they're great, you have to have that, and you have to have this. That's very different. Now all you have to have is this. So this to me was sort of a game changer. Game changer. So if you're interested in saying, well, wait a minute, would this save money then if I don't have to buy this thing and all I need to buy is that thing? Epson has a calculator online they're launching today, right? Where you can go in, put the prices or whatever you want and see how it works. So let's look at it. It does work pretty well. It works with a pen. And if I had to, this is the part I like, but I can draw on a piece of paper. I can build a board out of foam core. That's a very different kind of thing, don't you think? It means that if you've got a room that you couldn't put this thing in, and you couldn't put all the steel in, and you can put a, what does this weigh, 8 pounds, 5 pounds? You put a little piece of this on the wall, this far from the wall, right? Look how far we are. This is an ultra short throw projector. It's this far. If you can put that on the wall, you've got an interactive reactor. Could I do this on a wall? Yeah, I can do it on paper. I can do it on paper, I can do it on foam core, I can do it on a wall, which means that if you're in a room that wouldn't take this stuff, but it'll take that to the wall, you have an interactive solution where you are. Isn't that cool? How does it get so cool? So here's some of the stuff. What have I got here? Here's I'm going to clear off the stuff that I had up there. But there's the board works. Have you worked with interactive boards before? You know how they work, right? This works like the other board. Now, I was out there walking around and somebody said, well, okay, is this going to work in 6 months? Which if you're a serial early adopter, it's like you look at stuff that comes with, you know, some of this stuff you're not going to see in a year. Do you think Epson's going to be around in a year? Yes. So that's why we look at this really seriously. Epson is a solid technology company. They are going to be around in a year. Is this some piece of software that you have to pay a lot of money for? No. What you really need is this. So what that means is if you have experiences on the internet like this, look. This is Pixviewer, right? This is free. Do I have an interactive whiteboard? Yes, without the board. Yes, interactive whiteboard without the board. What? Really? Interactive whiteboard? Yes, so this is just Web 2.0 stuff, right? You can do all this stuff. So all I need is this pen and I can do that. And it also means I can go over here and annotate, draw circles, and do all this cool stuff too, which I can do on anything that's on this screen. So this looks a lot like the other stuff, but again, all I need is this and this. Does this come with this? Yep, you get two of them. You get two of them. So you get two, you have people working on it, and it does all that cool stuff, and that's how it works. So that's how the board happens. Let's clear it again. If I want, I can go to something else. Let's go to cool items. You know cool items? Very cool feature, right? I do a search for, let's close cool items here. If I look in, I did the brown bag shootout with Leslie Fisher. Anybody know Leslie Fisher? Lots of fun. So we did that today. I like to search for her picture. If I want someone a little bit better, I can scroll down and do all this kind of stuff. But I can also do this. I can also have it put together in this way. So all this cool stuff, I can do on this board. Instead of learning a proprietary system that won't work if you change the rules, because you want to do a proprietary system, you learn Web 2.0 stuff. All the capture, all the image control, all the drawing stuff, you do in something that's completely transferable. That's why it's so cool. That's why it's so cool. So, yeah, this is not the right Leslie Fisher, never mind. So we can go back and do stuff like this. Here's another thing I really like to do on this board. Here's the thing I tested on this board the most. You know Google SketchUp? Right? This is exactly what you want kids to be doing. We're not just text readers, right? We're digital learners. We move when we think. It's the way we sort of evolve and do all this kind of stuff. So I can take a piece of software like this, which is really cool. It's free. Look, let me make a projector. This is an easy way to make a projector. So this is Google SketchUp. You don't like it from that angle? Let's look at it from this angle. Anybody that's really been living in the back? Are you getting nauseous right now? I mean, that's how cool this is. Again, I can do this on phone core. I can do this on paper. All that stuff is very cool. And it means that since you don't have to buy this, and all you have to buy is a projector anyway, you're thinking about the price point, go ask them in their booth or find somebody in that black shirt down and say, how much does this really cost? What's the deal? Can I really buy 3 of these instead of 2 of the others? 4 of these instead of 2 of the others? That's the game. So the thing is, I want every classroom to have an interactive board, don't you? I mean, isn't that the deal? What are we going to have in the future? We're going to have the internet in every room, right? We're going to have Web 2.0 in every room, right? We're going to have digital media in every room. And if that's true, let's just do it all here. Let's train in digital media, Web 2.0. Let's train in that instead of spending 2 days learning a proprietary system and something that you have to buy that comes with the board. Does that make sense? That's what makes sense to me. Learn how to do something that's completely transferable from unit to unit. And I can show you some examples of that. Look, here's some stuff. Here's my PowerPoint. If you really want to see me do a PowerPoint, come tomorrow, the eye opening keynote or something else. But here's unless you really want to see it, you want to see it? Look, here's the deal. Here's how the game is changing now. This is the letter from Indiana. I've talked about this before. When they sent it to the school board sent it to the legislature and said, you got to make us stop buying textbooks. It's not engaging the kids. We need to spend our money on other stuff. We are at a pivotal point right now where we're going to stop spending money on traditional resources. We're going to be spending it on this stuff. This is sort of the change. The law changed. Oh, let me do this. The law changed here, 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 and here. There's